Good afternoon from San Antonio, Texas. I'm Janet Trevino, and I am your Cuddlist here in San Antonio. Super excited to share with you my thoughts on this huge question. I've been thinking about it for weeks, if not months, and I made a decision early on that I would see any client that would want to come see me. It doesn't matter gender, age, as long as they're over 18, marital status. I didn't discriminate against those kinds of people. So yes, it is true. I do see clients that are married. Let that sit in there. Let that settle for just a second. I do. And that's been a big question, a big concern, and it's been something that other cuddlists have had to wrestle with, and we've talked about, are you okay with your clients if their partners don't know you, they're seeing you? And, is it cheating, or what is it? What is this all about? You're so close, you're so intimate, there's such a bond that happens, and how do you wrestle with that? It is a difficult question that I think we all need to kind of figure out where we land on, and I know that for me, I don't ask questions. I don't know if people are married or not. I don't know if they're a committed relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I just see them and receive them as they are. And if they choose to tell me, that's great. And if they don't, that's fine too. So let's say right now you are a partner of someone that has come to see a cuddlist, either me or someone else. And you're panicking. And you don't know what it means. And you're freaking out about does my partner still love me? Is this our relationship over? Is this cheating? Oh my gosh. And just I can imagine the panic, the swell of did they have sex? What is this all about? And so I want to first just take a deep breath. Don't panic. Listen to your heart. Nothing has changed in your relationship. Actually, things could potentially get better. And here I am to explain what this is all about, in case you have this question, in case you're curious, and hopefully you'll understand by the time, sorry, there's a plane, by the time we're done, you'll hopefully get a better understanding about what this is all about. So, the truth is this. Let me give you some truths about touch and cuddling. One, truth is that touch is essential for health and for life. We all need to be touched, and we all need to experience this. Number two, some people need touch more than others. It is what it is. We don't usually test compatibility in a relationship when we meet somebody based on touch needs, and yet very often someone needs more touch than the other person. Number three, touch changes over a lifetime. Let's say when you're in your 20s, sex was your thing and you're out there and you're really sexual, but then by the time you get into your 40s and 50s, 60s and 70s, things have really shifted and things have changed and your relationship has changed, and yeah, that changes. Especially if sexual performance is compromised in any way, touch needs are heightened, and so that's number three. Number four, platonic touch needs are really difficult to meet in our community, in our society. It's very rare, especially if you're a male, to receive touch from even family. Single men especially are seen as suspicious, but married men, and especially it's very difficult. If your partner does not give you touch, you're not going to get touch. And that's just how it works here, unfortunately. So let me tell you some truth now about your partner. If you are that person that's found out, my partner is seeing a cuddlist, let me tell you some things that I know that I've heard over and over and over, and all these things I'm about to say, I've never heard it contradicted, okay, up to now. One, they love you. They love you so much, right? Your partner loves you. And they want to stay married. That is true. Across the board, they all want to stay married. Number three, they're working really hard on themselves. They care enough about their inner life and figuring their shit out that they're willing to do this, put money on the line, try to figure stuff out. They're getting help. So they are working hard. Number four, they don't want to be a burden on you. I think a lot of them feel they've been a burden on their relationship for a really long time, and they don't want that anymore. They don't want to come to you anymore to ask for these needs and to push you to be someone you're not. So that's okay. And number five, they feel alone with their touch. They feel overwhelmed and they feel like they're too needy. So if you're in a relationship with someone that has that needy, always wanting something from you, and you're like, geez, get away, let me do my own thing. These are the kind of people that come see me and come see other cuddlists, and they love you. They want you, but they're trying to figure out how this is all going to work out, how they can stay married and have their needs met. So why might they come to a cuddlist, right, instead of you? What's going on? There's lots of different things, and maybe one of these fits and maybe they don't fit, and feel in your heart, feel how it feels to see if maybe one of these are true for you. And again, not all the people I see have all of these, usually just one or two, but just listen and see what comes up. One reason might be that they don't know how to ask for touch. It's very, I get it here most every single time I see a client, and I always begin with a very simple question: how would you like to receive touch? What would feel really good? And if I don't prepare them with homework, they will say, I don't know, because they've been giving you touch forever. If they've always been very service oriented. They always want to take care of their partner, and then it's the sweetest thing. But now it's time to take care of themselves. And so when I ask if they're not prepared, they go, I don't know, and they don't even know how to ask. And so that, it might be that you're in a relationship with someone who's never asked for their own needs, because they're about you, and that's beautiful. But now it's time for them to be able to ask. That could be one reason. Maybe they've messed up touch and sex. And, we've heard classic stories of, and I'm going to genderize this a bit because it comes into a gender thing, and I don't mean to, but I'm going to just be real stereotypical, and I apologize for that. You have typical woman, typical man, they have sex, or let's say the sex, and then they want to cuddle, and usually the guy wants to run out, and the woman's like, no, but come on, I want to cuddle more, right? So that happens. Or another story is that the guy agrees to give the girl a massage, and then she's like, I'm relaxed and I don't want to have sex, right? And so then he's like, oh shoot, I thought that was foreplay. So boom, there's this disconnect when we do receive touch. That happens. And so they've messed it up. And so in a relationship, if that's happened long enough, and years and years and years, anytime someone wants to cuddle with you or touch you, you may feel, yikes, they want sex, and you might repel that, and you might not trust it, that it could just be touch without sex. So that's real. That happens. And then in that, let's say one day they're like, no, really, I just want to cuddle. I want touch, and their trust has been broken. So then what happens? Eventually, again, I hate to genderize this, but the female will start to reject, and say, no, push. I don't, you're needy. I don't want you. Yuck. And then they feel rejected, and at that point, they're not coming around to ask for touch anymore. And I see many men who are broken in that regard. They just are like, I don't want to be rejected again. I'm not really willing to try it again. And they feel needy, and they feel vulnerable, and sometimes in that needy and vulnerable, they aren't allowed to be weak. What we call weak, it's not weak, but they are expected to be strong all the time. And usually we see someone who is, can you hold me? Can you caress me? As someone who is, seen as weak, unfortunately. And that's sometimes in a relationship, that's not what a partner wants. She wants her man to be strong and to do strong things, and not be this, person that just literally weeps in my lap, right? That happens. And then some of you partners out there do not like touch at all. And this breaks all stereotypes. Usually we hear stories of women who are all touchy-feely and love the hugs and love the cuddle, and cuddle before sex, cuddle after sex, whatever it is. There are women who don't want to be touched. I'm surprised more and more, and I hear stories of this. And again, it could be age, it could be hormones, it could be just how they were raised, it could be trauma, it could be abuse, it could be all of those things. And so what happens in these relationships? These men, these people want to stay married, and they're with someone who doesn't like to be touched. So that might be some reasons why someone might come see someone like myself. But you ask, but what about those sexual positions? Those ones where it looks like all if you didn't have clothes, you would be having sex. What about those? And it's true. A lot of the positions it's possible, and they look like could look sexual. It could look as if, something else were happening or could happen. And there's a lot of things I can say about this. Let's see, where do I begin? I tell you, I just had a session not even an hour ago where the entire session there was barely any talking. There was no talking. That person was doing their own inner work and they were relaxed, and you could just tell that they were almost falling asleep. And so that way, I know, I mean, I was confident this was not sexual. Even if the positions were really close, they are finding that relaxation in the touch. Some people go back to when they were children. I mean, there's so many things that happen in a session. Other people are learning how to reacquaint themselves with touch. They're learning that, this stroke here can be for nurture and relaxation and not for arousal. If they've only experienced arousal their entire life when they're touched on their arm, guess what? They need to get retrained and reacquainted with a new type of touch that is comforting, as if when they were children. So a lot of that's also happening. And then ultimately I think, okay, well, those sexual positions, which again, there's no such thing as sexual position, it's what's going on here and I guess down there, right, and here. But would you rather them go to a professional who's learned about boundaries and consent and who has a code of conduct, or would you rather them find someone who, your next door neighbor or your friend or someone in your community or someone at work? Honestly, I think the best bet is for you to send them to someone who's professional, because they will keep that container. They'll keep them safe, you safe, everyone safe, and will allow for your relationship to remain intact with each other, because that's what we're trying to do. Ultimately trying to help these people put some pieces together that maybe they didn't have together, and then send them back to you as better people. So I guess you just need to decide, is it a good idea that they see a cuddlist? Yes, because we are professional, we can take care of this, and we'll take care of them for you. And I promise you, we'll send them back better than we found them. So trust me there. So more reasons. Why is it a good idea to send, your partner to see me? Or if you find out that your partner is seeing someone like me, what's going on? Remember, they're working on themselves. This is self-help. They want to stay in the relationship. They don't want a side piece. I promise you that if they did, they would go find it. They're not hard to find. So yes, this is all good. And there's more added benefit. In a cuddling session, they're learning how to slow down. Extremely important. They're learning how to receive touch that's non-sexual. If I could see you all raise your hand, how many people out there do you know who are sexual people? They're not asexual, they are sexual, who know how to receive touch from someone that they'd be attracted to that would be non-sexual. They would know how to give and receive. That's really big, and that's what we're doing. We're helping them detach love and sex. And you can also know that, at least on my side, I know that my emotions are intact, and that I'm staying professional, and that I'm not going to get emotionally attached to your partner. That's for sure. And that if they do get emotional attachment, what I do is I try to deflect that, and I try to remind them that that's really them connecting with themselves, that I'm a mirror, and that I'm just here to help them connect more and more with who they are and not with me. Because it isn't about me, and it never has been about me. But they're needing to, again, heal the things in their life that they've struggled with. And this is that opportunity to do that. And another thing that happens sometimes is that in a relationship, you don't always want to be their mother. And guess who gets to be? And I mean in the way that's like nurturing and caring. I know that in my previous relationship, I have 4 children. So I have kids already, and they're still pretty young. And I could take care of my husband, but there were times when I was like, dude, really, I just took care of 4 kids all day. I don't want to take care of you too, right? Like, that's a lot of work. And sometimes our guys are carrying a lot of those mother wounds or parental wounds that they need to work through. And so I'm here to take that place of that mother role, and to, again, sometimes it's just like they'll put their head in my lap and I'll just stroke their hair and I'll hold them and I'll speak to them as if they were my son, and I take that role for you so that you don't have to take on another child, let's say. I know that can be exhausting. I know how it felt for me when that was exhausting. So that's something else that I can do. And they don't want to come home to you desperate. I think many stories I hear of my clients saying, you know, there's this anxiety when they don't receive touch. They're just like, I need a body, I need touch, I need that. And it's, oh, that anxiety is so unattractive. So having someone like myself take some of that anxiety off of them, helping them relax, get more into their skin, into their bodies. I'll send them back to you. I'll send them home and have them have their needs met, their needs here, the touch needs met here, and then they can now focus on you and be a better partner for you and a better person in the family. Ultimately, that's what we all want. And they learn great communication skills. And so with me, I model as much as I can, you know, asking before I touch any new part of their body. Of course, this is all non-sexual parts, so you don't have to worry, genitals are never touched. And I am helping them ask and learn that communication, that back and forth. That's really important. Most of my clients I don't see more than once a week. If anything, the most is like once a week. So you also can know that emotional bond isn't as strong as you could imagine. It's I don't know, moderated, and so they have that time away from me. And with most, and I'm available to answer questions. I like texting if you see some texting, but usually it's still, I remain as professional as I can through text or any kind of correspondence that happens outside of a session. So there's that too. And guess what? Another thing. I know this is hard to hear, and you can't be everything for your partner. And I know even with my partner, he can't be everything for me. And that's a lot, and that's hard because I think we try to be, and it's exhausting to all of us. So this is bigger than you. And I'd like to introduce this idea again, that not only are they coming for touch and for maybe a compassionate ear, someone to listen to them. I'm not a therapist, but I play one on TV, pretty much. I am there to listen and to be that soundboard if they need it. So they get things that are like, you know, kind of like therapy. They can have someone to listen to them. But then there's so much more that happens. I provide other kinds of services, like coaching, answer questions. We talk about your relationship together. We work through all of those things so they can become better. And then I haven't even started talking about the health benefits. It's great for stress reduction, for heart health, for the cardiovascular system. It's great for, I'm not playing again. It gets loud here. I should have closed the door. And whenever you reduce stress, then you also are helping so many of the other parts of the system in the body to work and function better. So lowering cortisol will also help with like weight loss and with mental health and depression, and like all of those things start to correct themselves with just touch and giving attentive touch like what I do. And then of course the emotional support, mental health, wellness all over. It's just a great, great thing that is available for you and for your partner. And I was thinking, why not? If you've made it this far in this video and you're still curious, and if I've at least gotten you to open your heart and your mind to this, and if maybe you'd be curious to come and see me, I would love to see you too. That'd be so wild. I'd love to see the partners of my clients, and then have you as a client as well. And then maybe one day, and well, let's see, help you if you're the kind of person that's like, ooh, I don't like to be touched, and that's uncomfortable, and that's vulnerable, and that's so, ugh. Well, maybe we can work slowly, baby step it. And maybe I could help you as well, kind of come to a place where maybe you can come together, the both of you, and find a middle ground, and then be able to give and receive that touch. Maybe. It's my dream. And then maybe we could have sessions with the three of us where I could also be guiding and helping, and we can give all that delicious touch to each other. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for listening. And again, I'm Janet Trevino. I live in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm here providing cuddle services through Cuddlist.com. Please find me on my website, janettrevino.com. Facebook is cool, YouTube, and also on Cuddlist.com website where you can request a session with me. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.